that Jackie and her daughter's relationship was strained. I didn't know to the extent or the degree.
Like the damage that she did to me and my sister's relationship, she won't even take accountability for. At this point, it's just like a fake, I have to keep talking to you so you won't go talk about me on Twitter and talk about me on Facebook and
So you
tell
think
your side of the
genuinely
story.
she doesn't care?
Why else would you speak about your daughter like this?
Let's take a moment to discuss Doe Christie. If you know anything about him, you're probably aware that this is a guy who has never been one for drama. He's the kind of person who's always calm, collected, and level-headed, no matter the situation. Doe is all about staying cool and avoiding unnecessary conflicts. So when Doe loses his temper, you know something really serious is going on, because this isn't the type of guy to flip out over small things. And this time, something pushed him past his limit, something that made him snap in a way no one ever expected. Doe has always been known for his loyalty to family. He's the type of guy who puts his loved ones first and tries to keep the peace. So what could have happened to make Doe, of all people, lose his composure? The question everyone's asking is, what did Chantel do to make her dad this upset? It takes a lot to push Doe over the edge, and from his reaction, it's clear that whatever went down, it was no minor issue. This was something much deeper, something that really shook him.
Give her the opportunity to say everything that she's had to say about me to me. Get bold. You had all of these things to say. Oh, she's a hoe, she's messing with his friend, she's doing this, she's doing that. Say it.
Before Doe completely lost it, he had already started to feel that something wasn't right. You know that feeling you get sometimes, like your gut is telling you that something's off, but you can't quite put your finger on it? Well, Doe was feeling that way. When someone like Doe, who usually keeps to himself and minds his business, starts to feel uneasy, you can bet something significant is happening. It all started with Jackie. Doe knows his wife better than anyone, so when she began acting strangely, he immediately noticed. She was dodging certain topics, acting overly cautious with her phone, and just behaving differently. Now, let's be honest, when someone starts being secretive, it's usually a sign that they're hiding something. Doe wasn't about to ignore these odd behaviors. He was paying attention and connecting the dots. Then there was Chantel. She wasn't acting like herself either. Doe caught her in small slip-ups during conversations, avoiding simple questions, and just appearing nervous without any clear reason. It was as if she was trying too hard to appear normal. And for Doe, that raised red flags. He may be calm and composed, but Doe is also observant. When something feels off, he's not the type to ignore it. Doe didn't let these strange vibes slide. He started piecing everything together, and when the puzzle finally clicked into place, he knew someone was about to be confronted. Doe isn't the kind of person to let things go, especially when it comes to his family. He doesn't beat around the bush. He goes straight to the point. So one day, Doe was going about his day, minding his own business, when he stumbled upon something that made his stomach drop. A DNA test. At first, Doe was confused who took this, and why was it in his house. Then he saw the name on the paper, Chantel. The moment Doe realized that the test was related to his daughter, his heart sank. Why was there a secret DNA test sitting in his house with Chantel's name on it? And the results? They were far from what he expected. That was the moment everything clicked for Doe. Somebody had been keeping a huge secret from him, something that could turn their entire family upside down. At this point, Doe had no choice but to get answers.
I came here because you brought the friend into the situation. So I just want you to tell me, face to face, that it was the friend that I was with.
He wasn't the type to let this go, and certainly not when it came to his family. Without hesitation, Doe walked straight to Chantel, put the DNA test in front of her, and demanded an explanation. The look on Chantel's face said it all. She was caught. She looked down at the paper, then up at Doe, and then back down at the paper, almost as if she was hoping the words would magically change. Spoiler alert, they didn't. She fell silent. Now, if you've ever asked someone a direct question, and they take too long to answer, you probably already know what that silence means. It means guilt. Doe noticed it immediately. He folded his arms, leaned in a little closer, and used that deep, serious voice that only a dad could use. "Chantel, I'm waiting." At that moment, the tension in the room was thick. You could probably hear a pin drop. Chantel knew she was cornered, and there was no way out. Doe wasn't about to let her off the hook, and she had no excuses prepared. Doe could see it in her face. This wasn't just a misunderstanding. Chantel had been hiding something, and now it was time for her to come clean, whether she wanted to or not.
Disgusting. It's disgusting. It makes me sick.
She said a lot of things that actually hurt my feelings as a mom.
But just as Chantel was about to speak, something unexpected happened. Jackie, Doe's wife, rushed into the room like she had heard sirens. She jumped right between Doe and Chantel, waving her hands as if she were trying to play referee. Doe's face shifted immediately. He turned to Jackie, giving her that slow, deliberate head tilt. If there's one thing you don't do, it's interrupt Doe when he's in the middle of a serious conversation. He looked at Jackie, and suddenly it all clicked. Jackie knew about this. The guilt was written all over her face. She started stammering, trying to find the right words to explain herself, but it was too late. Doe already knew. Now, Doe was furious. Not only had Chantel been hiding something from him, but so had Jackie. The woman he loved, the woman he trusted, had been keeping secrets too. His anger reached a new level. He turned to Jackie and, in a low, firm voice, asked, "Who is it?" Jackie tried to avoid answering, tried to delay, but Doe wasn't having it. He kept pressing, his patience wearing thin. Finally, Jackie cracked. She dropped a name, and when I tell you, Doe's world collapsed. In that moment, he was completely stunned. The name Jackie said was the last person Doe ever expected. For a moment, Doe's face went blank. His brain couldn't process the information fast enough. This was absolute madness. It was the kind of betrayal he never saw coming. Doe took a step back, his fists clenched, his jaw tight. He started pacing, like a man who was holding back all his emotions, trying to keep himself from losing control.
Have this castle and this man and this blended family. Go fix it. Go fix dinner. Why are you here?
This wasn't just a small betrayal. This was something that had the power to shatter everything. Doe's entire world had just flipped upside down, and there was no going back from this. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get worse, Chantel broke down. She started crying uncontrollably, her face buried in her hands, struggling to breathe through the tears. "I didn't mean for it to happen like this," she sobbed. "I never wanted it to come out this way." But Doe wasn't in the mood for apologies. He took a deep breath, staring at her with a look that cut deeper than any yelling ever could. "You had all this time to tell me the truth, and you wait until I find out on my own?" Silence filled the room. Chantel shook her head, still crying, but Doe wasn't backing down. This wasn't some small mistake. This was years of lies, years of deception, years of his own family keeping secrets from him. Doe had always prided himself on being a family man. His wife, his daughter, they were everything to him. But now, everything had changed. This was betrayal on a level he couldn't comprehend. Doe looked at Jackie and Chantel, two of the people he loved most in the world, and then he walked away. No yelling, no slamming doors, no final words, just silence. For the first time in his life, Doe didn't know if he could ever forgive them. This wasn't just a mistake, it was a choice that had been kept from him for years. And now, Doe had to decide if he even wanted to move forward from this. Some betrayals can't be healed overnight, and in Doe's mind, the people who were supposed to have his back had been hiding things from him instead. One thing was certain, Doe Christie would never see his family the same way again. People have weighed in on Doe's decision to walk away rather than explode. One commenter said, Doe walking away instead of exploding just shows how broken he is. This was deep. Another added, Jackie's tears don't mean anything. She had years to be honest and didn't. She's only sorry because she got caught. A third said, Doe deserves better. He always put his family first, and this is what they do to him. Now, the real question is, should Doe forgive them, or is this kind of betrayal just too much to come back from? And let's talk about Chantel. Was she truly to blame? Or did Jackie set her up for failure from the beginning? And Jackie, if she had just told the truth from the start, would things have turned out differently? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.